Hello and welcome to Sensei podcast. This is Manos Brilakis discussing with leaders in the field of CTO and complex PCI. Sensei means teacher or master in Japanese. The goal of the Sensei podcast is to help you learn and improve in CTO and complex PCI so that you can become the best that you can be and offer your patients the best possible results. Hello everyone and welcome to Sensei Podcast. It is my great pleasure to introduce our guest today, who is Dr. Byeong-Keuk Kim, who is Professor of Cardiology at the Severance Cardiovascular Hospital in the Yonsei University in Seoul in South Korea. BK, it's a great pleasure to have you to the podcast today and discuss about your trip on becoming one of the world's foremost CTO and complex PCI operators.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's a great honor for me, yes, to have a discussion with Manos. Yes, so in Korea, every young doctor, especially the young interventional cardiologists, love to see the Manos. Yes. It's also my pleasure.
Well, you guys do a phenomenal work, and you train some of the best. So it's a testament to the great work that you're doing. But let me ask you a little bit about your career track. How did you become interested in intervention, complex intervention, CTO? You've done so much work on this. Did you always want to become a cardiologist, or how did this happen?
Okay, so actually the reason is very simple. It's because I love to do the CTO and complex PCI. CTO PCI and complex PCI always hit up my passion for the final success. Yes, when I was in the start of the interventional cardiologist, so I've seen so many patients suffering from the unsolved treatment because of the high complex reasons, so like a CTO, bifurcation, left main. So, but many patients had tools. However, if I could fix them, yes, it's very happy for patient and for me is also good. So for that reason, I really love to solve this complex procedures, some problems, and so many attackers to be solved. So that process I loved. So the reason why I studied to CTO procedures.
And how did you learn? How did you learn to do? I know you're in one of the major hospitals in Korea, and you do a lot of high volume and complex interventions, and of course the research is extremely advanced. But how did you learn to do these procedures?
So actually, I learned a lot from my mentor. As my mentor is my senior professor. Is now he moved to the other hospitals. The Professor Yamsu-Jang, maybe he's the some inventor of the Korean CTOs. I luckily learned everything from him. So actually when I was outside these hospitals, the Professor Zhang called me back in my graduate school. So in addition, I think a club meeting is also very important. Korean CTO club and other CTO club is the some kind of source, the learning source for me. In addition, we have a regular live meeting is a CTO camp meeting. So actually this year is a 10th meeting to be held. From the meetings, I've met so many interventional cardiologists, including the CTO guys. So learn a lot. So especially the deep communication. The Korea and Japan is very close distance. So I learned a lot. So maybe also actually I learned from the Otsuji Sensei and Igarashi Sensei and my friend Dr. Nasu. So I was always grateful to them.
Perfect. So again, you learn from some of the best operators and pioneers in the field. How easy was it in the South Korea interventional cardiology world to do these cases? Because I know you are busy, you have a lot of cases you are doing. Was it easy to find the time and the equipment to do these complex cases?
So you mean the so actually, some from the many years ago, before the exact system of CTO was not launched in Korea. So actually, so many patients, many physicians they did not love to CTO PCI because of the that you mentioned is CTO or some complex PCI so many times required. So in Korea insurance is time was not reimbursed. So it meaning the just one stenting case and also 4 hours stenting by CTO case really quite price late. So however the some insurance system is also changed and also the as I previously told you is Korea CTO club meeting has also regularly launched. After that, some specialty for the CTO or maybe started in meaning the some pre-designed, pre-designated time and schedule always exist, especially the big centers like me and other centers for CTO and complex PCI. So with a different rule. So there is some kind of solution.
Perfect. So a lot of planning that went into getting the setup and the times. Now, in terms of the preparation for the procedure, I know that you've done the CTO trial on the computed tomography, and which was extremely useful. You use it a lot. How do you prepare for the CTO cases?
Okay, so I think maybe you may agree. So is a thorough angiographic review is the most essential for me and for all other interventional cardiologists, including the young cardiologists. The CT scans. We've done the CTO trials. The pre CT scanning is quite related with the higher success rate. In terms of this result, CT sometimes very helpful to a thorough review of the angiogram, in meaning the by the some planning of the CT scans, we can easily understand the angiographic finding. So another important one is for the perfect angiographic finding. I think we need some team meeting is always needed. From the before procedures, we always regular team meeting, including the operators and assist and nurse and technicians. We from the angiographic reviews, we discussed a lot. It's that kind of some process. I've got learned a lot from the many other people in the different field, and also my junior staff. So that we don't have much time to teach them. Yeah, but there is kind of some pre-meeting is a very good chance to teach them how to prepare and also the today's some strategy. And then usually my hospital is a tertiary hospital, so so many cases referred. So and review again the reason why I failed this case something that is very important. And finally is we always some CT imaging interpreters come together. He also told us some exact CT finding. After that, we studied the CTO procedure.
Perfect. When you do those cases, do you sometimes feel anxious? Do you feel any stress? Are you able to conquer this? How do you deal with these often complex cases that you do?
Okay, so frankly speaking, I felt always anxiety and nervous before CTO PCI. Whenever we imagine the final success, so that kind of some thinking is always good. There is the reason why I should do the CTO procedure in this time. So, however, so I think some kind of change in meaning the anxiety and some happiness with the success that is always repeated. So I can some kind of bad and good feeling always exists. That is my strategy to deal with some kind of fear.
Perfect. And then, how do you deal with the cases that don't go well? Let's say you have a complication or things don't work out, it fails. Does it affect you? How do you deal with the failures and the complications?
You mean the complication from CTO?
Mhm.
right?
Or any other case. Yeah.
You're right. So the there is some dark side of the good procedure. So, but always a complication exists. However, previous told you, so, we everybody felt sometimes guilty feeling or some nervousness and also fears from the uh, presence or occurrence of the complications. For this, I think some scenario of the system is very important. So before complication started, it meaning the so we previous told you that we had a regular meeting, so the we already fixed some rule when the complication occur. For example, the coronary palpation. So the who check the INR and then the who prepare the protamine sulfate is nurse one always like a kind of action. So on and they always review the some dosage or some time too, and also they had some checklist to what to do to the operator, and also the one guy is calling to other operator, always calling the other operators started to the complication cases, and also technician and other people already prepares all pericardiocentesis set. That there is some kind of checklist should be prepared. In case of the coronary perforation. For example, another way is in case with a cardiogenic shock is some line keeper and also some preparing the drug is always exist. So the so you know the all operators having that kind of complication may be the embarrassed. So it's not easy to the want to A to Z some procedures. However, in this organized system with and also the checklist, always that kind of scenarios always should be performed. It's like a manual.
Perfect. So you have thought about everything can go wrong and have plans for taking
Hmm.
care of them and responding to those. But let's say despite all that, still things can happen. Do you
Right.
get depressed? Do you get sad? Do you get how do you feel after you have an unsuccessful or a case that did not go well?
Okay, so actually, it's not some podcast. So actually, I want to know the how Manos did that kind of problem. So maybe as I previously told you, so anyway, so frankly speaking, I've got so deeply had a bad feeling and with a guilty feeling. Some the the however the whenever met the other cases, that kind of some complication is just one lesson for me, and also for patient, I should remember that kind of complication why occurred, and also the how we fix them. There is important for the next patient. There is the some my solution for the dealing of the some kind of this feeling.
Perfect. And I think that's actually most people we've talked to on the podcast and outside the podcast. I mean, obviously, people don't feel good about it, but the best way to respond is exactly what you said, which is to review the case and learn from it,
Mm.
so that the future patients that are treated, you treat, are actually then benefit from whatever was learning from that particular case. And as you said, these are cases you never forget because they leave a very strong memory for you.
Right.
Now, in terms of the radiation and the uh, protection with radiation, do you do anything special? Do you watch your radiation dose? How do you deal with radiation issues?
So, so the now I don't know the some American situation. However, in Korea is young doctors don't be the interventional cardiologist. Is the one of the main reason is a radiation issue.
Mhm.
The previously the my senior doctors sometimes we fight radiation, right? So and also the some kind of price like my radiation dose is like high. Yeah, but now it's differently. Now is some very different. So we should protect is some radiation is also the or we should focus on the reducing of radiation dose to the young cardiologist, especially interventional cardiologist. So the the previously we always using the high frame rate. Now the frame rate is definitely decreased, especially from the CTO or intervention live cases, and also the we use always the recording of the cine, but now is just a saving of the fluoroscopy is very general. So more important one, the is a new device is always good in meaning the as compared with the new NGO equipment. So radiation, original radiation dose is really low compared with the previous machine. So that is also very important. And also in conference is some hazard of the radiation should be presented and should be discussed with others, and also the usual way that should be shared for the reduction of the radiation dose.
Wonderful. And then in terms, I think you mentioned about this before, but you have trained many people, many young fellows, and you continue to train them. Is there something that you look for in people who want to do this complex PCI? Is there some manual skills, way of thinking? What makes you think that a fellow is going to be successful in learning these procedures?
All right. So you mentioned we had a manual for the beginners of the CTO is preparing case and also the preparing the dealing of the wire or other device. So in my fellow also the Manos textbooks very well and familiar, and also that kind of textbook is very good, and also the previous told you that our regular live meetings we always keep the case in the from the first meetings, the previous 9 meetings, and also we arrange it that cases with by the region or by the some using of the device or technique. So that kind of some manual. So from the start, my fellows review that kind of live cases and also prepare the new strategy based on the that kind of manual and then the case scenarios.
Perfect. And then what did you find the most difficult thing to learn and to teach in CTO intervention? Is it some technique? Is it way of thinking? What is the most difficult thing in learning CTO and PCI?
Okay, most difficult and also is most easy is a very same reason. In meaning the as I previous your first question is why do you love to complex PCI something? So actually, is there is the some kind of nature of the doctors is already some guys is love to that kind of long procedure, and also so many problems exist. That is the very good reason to do the CTO procedure. However, some doctors is never like that kind of procedure. So in meaning that some nature is always exist in my opinion, and also so for the teaching is as I previous told you, I should teach the reason of all step in CTO to go or to stop anyway is why this should we to do the things in this step. There is the kind of some solution chain. That kind of solution chain learning is I think young guys love to. If they love to the CTO PCI, it's good to the very good tool. That kind of chain explanation.
Sure. And then I know you have again a major impact on the coronary CTA. You did the trial.
Mhm.
How did this idea for the trial happen? How did you make it happen? I mean, that's an impressive achievement. Still the best data we have on the CTA in CTO PCI. So how did that happen?
Oh. So in our CTCTO trial is briefly summarized is one group is a conventional angiographic review group, and one group is before CTO PCI CT scan was performed. It's a CT scan also. So the just the CT scanning is not improved with the success rate. Is anyway the CT analysis would be needed. So finally is the pre-procedural. We call the CT guided CT procedures. That kind of procedure is quite related with the improved success rate. So it's the main reason is, as I previously told you, that kind of the very related with the thorough understanding of angiography, in meaning the we met so many cases anatomically ambiguity is a CTO, and also stimulus CTO. Anyway, at that case is a CT scan. Maybe the CT had a role like IBUS, some kinds of IBUS. So angiography did not show us the course of the CTO path. However, CT can pass the way of the CTO. There is the main reason, and also the like IBUS is some characteristics of the CTO segment from the CT scan. We can understand is classifications, the location. So we call the geographic classification mapping. So when we do the integrate procedures, we can roughly know where the classification exists, and also how severe the classification. That kind of procedure also related with the decision of approach. It means the antegrade better or retrograde better. But there is the reason of the improved success rate in CT guided CT procedure.
Wonderful. And then I know you're a very busy person doing all this clinical work and research. What do you do to keep yourself in good shape for all these endeavors?
Uh, you, you mean the
Do you exercise? Do
oh, okay, okay,
you?
okay, right. So the keep the healthy of the interventional cardiologist is, I think, quite related with the patient health. So in meaning the healthy doctors always make the healthy patient. So I really do the exercise is regular is in the our fitness coach is always told me the how to learn and how to exercise, and also I love to outside uh, rapid walking in the room is regularly. I should do the regularly, but if the some busy time is not easy. However, there is also is my first priority of the in my life to do the healthy procedure.
Sure. And then what do you do for your exercise? Do you go to the gym? Do you work out at home? Apart from the walking, what else do you do for your
Yeah,
exercise?
so usually I use the gym. So the actually the both gym meaning the the in our hospital also there is a gym, and also and I live in the apartment in the house. In house is also gym. So the according to the different situation, in meaning the on duty. So I worked in the hospital gym. So out of the finishing the come back home, I use the home or some my apartment gym. I usually use, and also I usually use the stepping is also very good. So I did not use the elevator if possible. So there is the kind of very good things too for me, right?
So you get your exercise going up and down the stairs
Right,
in
right,
your
right.
hospital.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Perfect. Perfect. Now that's again, whatever way you can do it, this is perfect. And then, do you have any favorite movies or favorite books?
Oh, okay, okay. So the actually the my favorite movie is the uh, Sound of Music. It's a very old musical movie. So the actually when I was in the university times, I'm a member of the chorus team. So in this chorus team, have made a creative musical. After that, I love to see the uh, movie like a musical. So the Sound of Music is when I was very young. Is a children. So I also saw. After that, my wife to watch that movie, and my daughter and son also watch that movies. We already been to the Salzburg for the scene of the same scenery with my family members. So that is the why I love the Edelweiss song, and also the many songs always remember us some different situation when I was young, university time, after marriage. So the feeling is very different. So the after the some questionnaire of this podcast, so I plan the in this week we all members should watch again over the Edelweiss with wine.
Perfect. Well, again, that's one of the
So
classics and one of the movies that everyone loves from a long time ago.
mhm.
How about a book? Is there a book or books that you are most
uh,
passionate about?
yeah, right, right. So the So actually, the non-medical book is the first one. Maybe the Bible, right? I love to read the Bible, and next one is the in English title is "Way Down the power of the positive relationships" by the Ken Blanchard. Is there is the from the title is the inspiratory story of how to manage and motivate and bring out the best using the trust building technique. The term of trust building is very good. The I am maybe you also saying is the we should do something for patient. However, we should uh, do meaning the teach the them student. So previously how to teach and then what to your know-how is I think a very important one is anyway the positive relationship. So there is the problem, the first key of the problem. So the reason why is well done is some kind of story of the whale killer is that kind of story was very impressive.
Wonderful. And what are you most proud of? What are the things that you've done personally or professionally and professionally that you're most proud of?
So So actually, the I proud of the my interventional team is in this hospital. So the so many complex procedure we should discuss, and also the our center is a research center, so especially interventional cardiologists. So many study we've finished it, and also ongoing study is also studied. So in the our classroom in the world have some our length tens journals is posted. However, the upgraded one if occurred or if published, and then the oldest or lowest should be removed, right? So the yeah, and
Yeah.
when he is so the kind of board, I really proud of our team. So all we made. So actually, is the even beside our team, also our some uh, previous fellow and also the other university members also joined our meeting and also the work together. Anyway, the kind of big systems I'm proud of.
Well, again, you've done a phenomenal work, both, of course, on the research, multiple New England and major publications in intervention over many years, and also, doing your meeting every year is superb and truly comprehensive and goes in depth into many many areas. So, congratulations for all of that.
Thank you.
Now, how what are you thinking for the future? What are you most excited about in the things coming forward in the future?
Okay, so the maybe the some other doctors also some kind of similar ways. Uh, I always the color and the light is make me excited. So the with a different point of the interventional field. So I started to get interested in art. And also on weekend, with my wife is I've got to the some gallery and to see and to watch, and also the museum, especially the modern art is very impressive in meaning the some kind of scenery, and also the some thinking of the artist is very different. Very different meaning is when you see the some sign or some spot or some result is different thinking always exists. That is the very impressive for me. So I love to the anyway the some change of color. Change of color is quite related in me is uh, some development of my thinking. So that is the I want to involved in the interventional field.
Wonderful. Well, it's good to be diverse and keep other perspectives as well. And then, how about the role of your family? How important has the family been in your life and your career in the future?
Right. So actually, the family member and families play the biggest roles in my and also in our maybe in your success. Sometimes I did best for my family, and family, have contributed the most to my success. Previously, when I was a failed CTO, or how deal the one of the most important thing is when I come back to home is that kind of some together with my family member is also is a very wonderful cure of that kind of bad feeling. So is a family and family member is always important. Sometimes because of the my tight schedules, I did not much time with my son or daughters, but the focusing is very important. So even with the very short time is I should try to focus the with members if the time limits.
Perfect. So, BK, if you had to summarize your advice for people who are starting their career or their fellows or early career interventionalists and they want to learn CTO and complex PCI,
Mhm.
what would you recommend for them to do to become successful?
So actually, seeing, discussing is most important. So the seeing meaning the watching of the some case. The now is media is very developed. So the in YouTube, so many good live cases by the experienced operators from the A to Z. So, and also the attending to the live demonstration conference is important. However, the very limited because of the time limit. So I want to recommend use the media, and also the visiting of the high volume center, and also short training course is also very important if possible. So the more important one is I think loving patient, and then loving to treat the other physician to do the thing is important. is I think is a very very basic way. However, that kind of feelings in the future, many watching and many hearing and then many discussion with good doctor. Sometimes discuss with friends, it's other doctor friends is also very important to be a good CTO or interventional cardiologist.
Perfect. Well, BK, thank you so much again for taking the time today. Once again, congratulations for an excellent program and for the excellent research and the education you provide to so many people, both in Korea as well as outside Korea.
Okay.
And super excited and thankful that you were with us today.
Okay. Thank you, Maros. It's great time to discuss with and also to talk with many things, especially CTO. Right. It is also for me. It's very good time. It's really appreciate.
Thank you for listening to the Sensei podcast.